Hey everybody, welcome to the first ever camping review here on Adventure Nebraska. For our very first review, we are going to be going over Maple Creek Campground, which is located in Lee, Nebraska. My family and I have been going to this campground for years, so I know all of the ins and outs. But in 2019, we went there for Memorial Weekend, and I also have a vlog about this very same trip if you are interested and want to check that out. I just want to give a quick disclaimer before continuing this video. Everything I'm about to say is completely subjective and just things I thought I should point out. For some of you, none of this is going to matter. The cons are not going to bother you, and this is going to be a perfect site for you. But I just want to throw everything out there in case there are some major tiffs with some people. Everyone camps in a very different way. Some people love to rough it, and some people really love glamping, and that's totally fine, and we should all just appreciate that we're outdoors. So if I point something out that you think to yourself, well, you're camping, you shouldn't expect any different, then this video is not for you. This video is for people who are trying to figure out and learn about all the different campgrounds in the state of Nebraska and which ones they want to try next. Because we have been going there so many years, I really think I know all of the ups and downs of this place. We've seen it grow and we've seen it decline in a lot of different ways, and a lot hasn't really changed much over the years. So if you're watching this review in a few years, chances are it's pretty much the same as it is now. Here is a picture of one of my little brother's very first fishing experiences, and it also happened to be at Maple Creek. I taught him how to fish back at Maple Creek a long time ago, and we've been fishing there ever since. So enough rambling, let's get down to the nitty-gritty and talk about all of the pros and cons of this campsite. So I will just start with, I think, the most popular pro that this place has. This is a perfect location for group camping. The way the campsite is set up, you can have 6 or 7 campers there camping together and be able to hang out really close, and it's just an all-around really nice campground for that. This campground is extremely popular for families, which is awesome. It creates a really great environment where kids can have fun and play and run around. Another really great thing about this campsite is it has very level camping pads with really nice white crushed rock. We've never had a problem being even or level in any of the camping spots we have ever been a part of there. They've always been relatively flat, no crazy inclines, and it's a really nice campground for that kind of thing. Another great thing that they have is great fishing docks, a very nice large lake, and a swimming pool, which again makes it a perfect place for families. I would also like to note that there's plenty of water spigots around if you need to refill your camper, and it also has very nice facilities like shower houses and really good flat ground for tenting in the tent area. And I really just want to reiterate how great of a campsite this is, especially for families. It is wonderful. However, there are several cons I'm going to point out just to ensure that if you're going to drive 2 or more hours for this place, it's something you really want to go to. I am going to start with one of probably the most important parts to this campground that could be a con to someone, and that is the fact that it is not reservable, which I know for my family is beyond frustrating. You can't expect to drive 2 hours to show up on a Friday night and not have a for sure campsite, which is a major bummer. And this place is a pretty busy campground, so if you're gonna try to get in, you pretty much have to go up on a Wednesday night or a Thursday night and park your camper for the weekend. That is easily the most frustrating part, so if you can get past that, then this is probably a good campground for you. One of the other major complaints from my family, and I know a ton of other families, is the lack of trees in this location. There are absolutely no fully grown trees anywhere. This may not be a big deal to some people, but I do know it does affect a lot of people's opinions, especially if they're not sure if their camper can handle a 102-degree weekend, or for me, I'm a tenter and I need some sort of shade on a weekend like that. Like I already said, my family and I have been going to this campground for years, and the trees have never even grown a little bit. They're still saplings. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if people are not taking care of the facility or what, because I've also noticed that in recent years, the grass isn't being mowed. It's so overgrown, which isn't a huge deal, but I'm paying for a nice camping spot, so sometimes I expect it to be taken care of at least a little. I would say the third biggest pet peeve for a lot of people at this campground is also the decline in fish population. There used to be an amazing fishing opportunity out there. We could be fishing all day long. But if you watch my vlog, you'll see that I literally was out there for 2 hours with not even a single bite. Now, granted, that could be user error, but if you look at the water, it's getting so full of algae and so mucky. I'm just not certain if fish are habitable in it anymore, and it's only going to get worse if they don't do something about it. So that's a real bummer for our fishermen out there, maybe not for some other people, but I think it's worth mentioning. And I've also talked to several other fishermen who are having the same problem and say the lake is no good anymore. There is still a ton of fishermen out there, so I'm not going to say that there's no fish in the lake. It's still a very popular place, but I'm just saying it declined rapidly over the last 3 years, and there's clearly been nothing done about it, so it's not going to improve, and this lake is only going to get worse. Okay, that is enough rambling about fish. But the next and final thing that I think gets on a lot of people's nerves at a family campground is the lack of accessibility between the campground and the lake. If you've been there before, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but if you've never been there, I will try to set the scene for you. Where the campground is and the lake is, there is a lot of white rock and crushed rock that you can walk on. There's a wonderful walking trail. It's all fantastic. But to get to the lake, you either have to cut through the grass, which is between two campsites, or go all the way up to the shower houses and all the way back down, which is just, no one has time for that. I would say this isn't a real con, but it's just something I'm throwing out there in case someone's watching this who has anything to do with the park. Why can't we put a gravel pathway there for children and families trying to go get their kids on the jungle gym? I just don't get it. It's not a huge issue, like I said, but it's something to think about if you're a parent and you have a lot of kids going to be running back and forth between the lake and the campground and everywhere else. Well, that pretty much sums up my entire review. If you watched all the way to the end, thank you very much. And remember, I also have a vlog about everything we did the weekend of Memorial Weekend in 2019 at Maple Creek Recreation Area.